Are we good? Cool. All right, so let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Francesco here. How are you tonight? Good? Cool. Okay, so I normally would do this only on Zoom because the answer normally is straightforward here. But today I'll do it here and you'll see why. Where's the farthest you've come tonight? Who's from London? Who is from inside the M25? Who is from outside the M25? Who is from outside the country? Where are you guys coming from? So we've got an entire delegation, you guys raise your hands, from Italy tonight, the Club degli Investitori di Torino, which translated to English, if you forgive my Italian, is Investor Club from Turin. And that's me. Like I said, I'm a computer scientist. I've been angel investing in deep tech for the last couple of years, and I am with Paul. Where is my cool rascal over there? No, another Paul. That guy over there. We've been making this happening for quite a while, and in fact, the very first meetup started in 2011, and I mean, that wasn't me, but we were meeting in pubs, and actually I joined up a little bit later than that, and then together with Rita, Paul, and Deep, and also Olivia from Italy, who is helping us in a little bit of some deep detail due diligence, especially on the hard tech startups, and you'll understand why a little bit later. We have been managing to make this community grow, like Rita said, to about 15,000 members. And what this community is really is a meetup community. So you can go online on meetup.com Silicon Roundabout, and you can come to events like this once a month. Of course, because of COVID, things gonna be slower. But despite that gap, what happened between 2016 and 2020 is that we've been getting people, startups in particular, founders, on this stage to present their idea, and every time we selected a few finalists to come on stage for each edition, and out of those, every time we selected the winner of the night. Tonight we're going to have the same exercise, but bear in mind that what you see here is already pretty much the tip of the iceberg. There are loads of startups underneath that are constantly part of the meetup and might not be where we feel that they're ready for presenting on stage, and so we haven't necessarily invited them for coming for this particular event, depending on their topic, but they might be coming next time we touch up on a topic on their industry. And today, that makes us literally take it out of this world, because if you've read the invitation, you guys probably saw, today's theme is Feste. Nice one. Good public today. It's like big round of applause for yourselves, by the way. You're like a good chat. In partnership with ESA BIC, we've got Will over there, who's helped us select the startups to bring on stage, especially the UK one. We're also going to have a startup from Italy. And it's not because we've got a delegation here, like I said before, to the gentlemen and ladies coming over from Italy. It was actually a chance. We had startups offline from Ukraine, Germany, Spain, and France, specifically on this one, and UK, of course. And we have 5 finalists from the UK and 1 from Italy who's going to pitch remotely. And so, space. What's happening in space? Well, in space, we finally have thousands of investors globally and more than 10,000 companies globally, solving challenges across the stack, from the downstream and the actual rocket launching. You probably heard of the private missions of SpaceX, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, and of course the traditional government ones, but also all the way downstream to applications based on satellites and lights. But wasn't space just a government thing? Well, it was. The 50s, the real race started. You probably guys remember from the news or remember reading history books that really was a game between the USSR and ESA. So what's changed? Why are we here today in the venture capital world talking with founders who might just be out of university? They're building a space company. It's not a delivery company. It's not going to bring you groceries in 10 minutes. It's not going to bring you groceries in 1 minute faster than the next competitor. These people are either trying to get us to space or take our technology to space or use space technology to impact life on Earth. Well, there has been a change in regulations. The US in the early 2000s was a bit of a pioneer in starting to incentivize private space exploration and exploitation. That's been followed, of course, very closely by the European Space Agency and, of course, China. And so there has been this kind of three-headed movement in Europe, space, and the US and China that has been facilitating more and more private involvement. There has also been an increase and more diverse amount of funding. So the startups like the champions that are gonna duel tonight on this stage, just after I finish boring you, can actually get capital, not just for government-led projects, but privately. And of course, the cost to do stuff in space has been going down. And as the cost keeps falling, more and more applications become possible, in fact becomes economically viable. So welcome to the third era of space exploration. In fact, we can call it the second wave of commercialization. Just to give you some context of what's been happening in space, like I said, initially, if you probably remember, it was mostly a government-led initiative. Then the government, as always they used to, they started to offload to some of the larger corporates they have huge contracts with, but now more and more startups starting out of nowhere. These companies didn't even exist before the early 2000s, and some of them didn't even exist a couple of years ago probably. Now they're going to commercialize and take advantage not only of the exploration but also of the commercial exploitations of what the space technologies can provide us. And if we look at current space, as of this morning, when I continue to check, we're about 2,200 private companies in space, in Europe, venture funded, private, so not exited yet, not been acquired, not going public yet. And so it's an entire movement that's happening because of these three main drivers that are actually allowing us to have companies in the satellite space that obviously have all the communication impact, companies that are looking for space tourism, those companies that are looking at fixing what all the other companies are doing. For example, getting the result of the orbit, because other companies have been littering by sending more and more stuff into space and so forth. And so space really is becoming a prime, if you remember one of the earlier slides, it's at the moment about 3% of the global venture capital investment. It's becoming one of the key pillars of what we call deep tech, which are technologies that really are not, like I said before, an app that gets you some groceries, but actually are changing our lives. They are changing our lives in sectors like medicine. They're changing our lives because they're enabling a new type of computation. I actually see some founders here that are working in the semiconductor space. I'm not looking at you. And of course, we've got drones. Where is Gumi? Oh, I can't find Gumi, but there is, people working on drones. So when it comes to delivery, it's not just, some rider bringing me some groceries, but actually changing the way logistics work on Earth, in aerospace, and then of course into space. Yet challenges still exist. But this is something that if you came, for example, in March, I talked about before, there is still a discrepancy between the amount of money that government and larger investors are throwing into space and deep tech in general at later stage than, for example, at early stage, where the field is very much dominated by the traditional, and by traditional I mean the typical vanilla investors, average investor that probably, says the data, doesn't have a technical background, has been making money really with the typical vanilla B2B SaaS companies, and so they're used to just that neat ARR of you come with an app, it's very capital light, they give you some money, let's see, you become a unicorn, make lots of money, and if somebody comes to you and is talking about purchase agreements and enterprise license with corporates that might take several years to materialize, or a space tech company that tells you, we're not going to make any real money until Series B, Series C. What are you going to do about it? The pre-seed, early seed VCs, and that's changing, by the way. Historically has been more of a guy that's like, no, come back when you've got some more traction. Isn't that resonates? Okay, so this is what you're here for. We're here because ultimately we want to connect investors, and I see some more over here, not just the delegation, with companies with investors, but also with engineers and with other founders. Because actually, for example, space is a fertile terrain, and probably that's Will from ESA BIC, by the way, so the European Space Station Accelerator can actually verify that. Companies and startups co-trade with one another. Scale-ups become the customers of earlier stage startups, who become the enabler of larger scale startups to then grow. And so coming to meet other founders, coming to meet engineers means that you probably hire talent, you can probably scale your business faster, get advice, and of course, if people like us, investors, are on the way and can give you also some money, you can probably do the best. And of course, running a meetup part-time only goes so far. We realized that. So today, we decided, after 3 months of getting back in person, to make a little bit of an announcement and throw our hat in the ring to try and help the system even further. We're not going to stop the events. The community is still going to happen. We're going to try and add something on top. We asked ourselves, what if there were both a community and an investor that could do what we're doing here, but almost like a core? You know, if you picture the Iron Man that has got like a superpower core to fuel all of that, that's kind of what we wonder. So we asked our founders. Stuart, for example, from Zigo, has been exchanging some conversations with us and been helping us. Now he's in the baby, but like some time ago, and he kind of pushed us into the direction. What if Silicon Roundabout had a fund that could back these startups, not just bring them on stage, make them present, and hope that somebody else picked up the rein? I couldn't resist, so like I said, I started putting a little bit of my money into this myself, but really, we want to take it to the next level. And so we've already got some institutional backing for this. We've also got founders and executive founders and operators from the community, like people that used to work at Deliveroo or AWS, that are backing this initiative. It's still in stealth, officially still not live, but we're working on this, and so this is it. We wanted to tell you that hopefully very, very soon you will see a Silicon Roundabout Ventures fund coming out of the Silicon Roundabout community, and hopefully together, also with other investors, we can make the ecosystem stronger. Our core belief is that we had enough of companies that, like I said before, can get you the food 1 minute earlier than everybody else. We say we need more companies developing hardware technologies, software that powers new evolution of the software stack, and companies that take the hardware even further and actually are building spaceships, satellites, new semiconductors, new batteries. And that's to end up. Just a quick word from Andreas, because we couldn't mention the big VC that's going to back this, so we chose an angel. Who decided to just give us a 1 minute reason why a community-driven approach to help startups can help us, basically.
Hi everyone, sorry for not being here today at the event. I just wanted to share a few words about why we are super hyped about, and the reason why I can't join is I'm with my daughter here. She's unfortunately sick, so that's a bit annoying. But yes, the reason why we're super hyped to be backing Francesco and Silicon Roundabout Ventures is that, to us, he is the kind of manager that we believe is going to be able to do amazing things in the European VC scene. He has a community. You guys know that. You guys are that community, and we're super hyped to be backing VCs that, like us, are community focused and believe that the future of tech is human. So for sure, that's one of the very big reasons. But there's another thing that I haven't said to Francesco now, or before, but I'll do so now, which is everyone, when we diligenced Francesco, everyone always said, well, this guy, he is a real hustler. He'll do anything to make this work. So for that reason, I am sure that we are bound to see amazing things coming from Francesco and the team at Silicon Roundabout Ventures. So everyone, have a great event. I hope that you'll enjoy and be inspired by everything around space tech today. See ya.